Assalamu alaikum. Hi, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. And today, basically, we are going to start the past paper questions. And the topic, basically, we are doing that is a vector. In our last video, basically, we completed the basic concept with examples. So now we are just doing the past paper questions. Okay. Okay. This question is from P2 2022. Okay. In this question, AB basically vector is given to you. Okay, and after this you have to calculate the magnitude of AB. Okay, for this just you have to write down the formula. Okay, and then plug in the values, and you will get the answer. Okay, so for magnitude of AB you have to just write it down the formula, that is x square plus y square. Okay, you know your x square is what? Minus 3 square. Okay, and y square is 5 square. Okay, when you add basically these two, like 9 square 9, 5 5 the 25, and then if you add these two, you will get basically 34. Okay, 34, and if you take out the root of 34, you will get the magnitude of AB. Okay, and that magnitude is basically 5.83. So you can write here 5.83. Look, this question is very easy, and just you have to use the formula and then write down the answer. You will get basically 2 marks in this. Okay, so it means that this formula give you 2 marks, and you do not need to do anything else except this thing. Okay, now the second part is AC is basically 6 and 2, and C is the point 10 comma minus 1 coordinate is given to you. Now find out the coordinate of A. It means AC is given to you. Okay, so the vector from A to C is what? 6 2. Okay, and C is given to you, means you have to write the coordinate C is here. It means you have to write the position of OC. So the position of OC is 10 and minus 1. Okay, now you have to find what the coordinate of A, means OA you have to find out, and the OA is not given to you, so you have to label it as X and Y. Okay, now just you have to do the thing like you want what? AC. Okay, AC comes when you subtract OA minus OC. Okay, just OC minus OA. So write down the value of OC, that is 10 minus 1. OA is basically you have to find out, it is unknown, X Y. Okay, just remove right O minus OA is equals to AC. Okay, just you have to find out the value of, oops, AC is already given to you, that is 6 and 2. Okay, now just you have to find out the value of OA. So just move this minus OA towards 6 and 2, it will become positive, and this 6 and 2 towards OA, it will become negative. Okay, so 10 minus 1 minus 6 2 is equals to OA. Okay, when you subtract like 10 minus 6 minus 1 and minus 2, it will give you basically OA, and the value of OA is basically what? 10 minus 6 is equals to 4, and minus 1 and minus 2 equals to minus 3. So the value of OA is 3 and 4, and if you have to write down the coordinate, so it means here you have to write like 4 and minus 3. So just write down the value here, 4 and minus 3 is the answer. Okay, so these two parts are very simple. Now in part number 3, okay, it means k B is the midpoint of AD. Okay, now suppose here if you draw the straight line, okay, and if this point is A and this point is D, and this point is your B. Why B? Because they are saying ki B is the midpoint of AD. From A to D, it is the midpoint. So you know the coordinate of what? A. The coordinate of A is 4 and minus 3 that you already figured out in part number A. Now they are saying you have to find out the coordinate of D that is unknown, means X and Y, and B is the midpoint. First you have to find out the coordinate of B, okay, then you are able to figure out the value of D. First find out the value of B, okay. In the question AB is given to you. Take a column vector of AB is given to you in the first part, that is minus 3 and 5, minus 3 and 5, okay. So this is minus 3 and 5, and you know okay, this minus 3 and 5 is the value of AB, and you have to find out the value of AB. Like how you find out the value of AB? If I say okay, find out the value of AB, so it means okay, you have to subtract OB minus OA. OB minus OA. In this way, you are able to find out the value of AB. But in the question, the value of AB is given to you. So just write out down the value of OB, that is AB, that is minus 3 and 5. Now you have already given the value of OA, that is 4 and minus 3, and the length of OB you have to figure it out. Okay, if you have to figure out this value, just move this entire thing towards this side, so it will become positive. So OB is equals to minus 3 5 plus 4 and minus 3. Okay, minus 3 plus 4 and 5 plus and again minus 3. It will give you 1 plus minus and 2. Now the value of OB is 1 and 2. Now right here 1 and 2. Okay, look, B is the midpoint, means the distance between A to B is the same as B to D, because the B is the midpoint of between A and D. Okay, so look, from 4 to 1 they are subtracting minus 3, and from minus 3 to 2 they are adding plus 5. If you subtract 1 with minus 3, because from this point till this point they are subtracting minus 3, so from B point till point D you have to also subtract minus 3 with 1. Okay, and again you have to add this 2 with plus 5. Okay, why? Because from minus 3 to 2 they are adding plus 2 plus 5. From 2 to Y you have to also add the 5. So look, for X it would be minus 2, and for y it would be basically 7. So the coordinate of the length of OD, technically, sorry, the vector form is minus 2 and 7. So if you have to write in a coordinate form, okay, if you have to write like in coordinate form, so 2 and 7 is the coordinate of D. Okay, we're done with part number A. Okay, now in part number B, figure is given to you, and in this figure basically first you have to read the question. Okay, after reading the question, forget basically what are the requirements, just read the questions and work out. ठीक है, वर्कआउट करो जो कि भी आपके पास यहाँ पर जो भी चीज़ जो भी दी हुई है क्वेश्चन में लिखी हुई उसके अकॉर्डिंगली उसका डेटा आप बना दें, ठीक है। और जस्ट आप जो ये जो पार्ट है ना, ये वाला, ये जो रिक्वायरमेंट दें, इनको अभी आप छोड़ दें कि क्या बोला जा रहा है। द डायग्राम शोज ट्राइंगल ओ पी क्यू, ओ पी, ओके, फ्रॉम ओ टू पी is P, and from O to Q is Q. Okay, R is the point on OQ. R is the point on OQ such that O to R equals to 2 RQ. So this information is given to you. So just write it down like OR is equals to 2 RQ. ठीक है, जैसे आपको मैंने कहा था, आप जस्ट क्या करें, इसको यहाँ ले आए रेशियो फॉर्म के अंदर, OR divided by RQ which is equals to 2. It means कि इसका रेशियो इनिशियल एक रेशियो क्या हो जाएगा, ऑटोमेटिकली 1 हो जाएगा. So mean from O to R, from O to R, from this to this entire thing is basically 2, and from R to Q, from this point till this point, the entire part is 1. Okay, ये तो समझ आ गया होगा. अब ये 2 and 1 है, it means कि कम टोटल लाइन है, तो टोटल लाइन का जो रेशियो होता है वो कैसे फाइंड होगा, 2 plus 3, sorry 2 plus 1 equals to 3. So the O to R is 2 upon 3 total of Q, ठीक है, and from R to Q is 1 upon 3 Q, ठीक है, क्योंकि टोटल आपको उन्होंने सारा पार्ट में डिवाइड किया हुआ है, तो जो टोटल था वो Q था. आपको इसमें जो है जस्ट एक चीज ये याद रखनी है, रेशियो फॉर्म में लाने के बाद आपको उसका टोटल लेना होता है, 2 upon 3 Q and 1 upon 3 Q हो गया. Okay, the next information is S is the midpoint of PQ. S is the midpoint of PQ, ठीक है. तो आपके पास ये जो है 1/2 मिड पॉइंट है ना, तो पी क्यू हो गया ये भी, और ये भी 1/2 किसका हो गया, पी क्यू का. तो जस्ट ये इंफॉर्मेशन जो थी मुझे क्वेश्चन में दी हुई थी. नाउ आफ्टर दिस देयर इज नो अदर इंफॉर्मेशन इज गिविंग टू यू, so just work out for the requirements. PQ, first you have to find what, from P to Q you have to find PQ in the term of P and or Q. So for P and Q you have to move from P to O, okay, and then O to Q, okay. From PQ you have to find, for you have to move from P to O, okay, and O to Q. Look, when you are moving from P to O, you are basically moving opposite to the direction of OP. So it will be negative P here, okay, because OP is minus OP is P, so PO is minus P, plus OQ, OQ complete, that is Q, so equals to Q. It's up to you. You can either write like this way, P first and minus Q after the positive sign, ठीक है. So Q minus P or minus P and plus Q is the answer for this, ठीक है. You can either write in both the ways. Now QS, from Q to S, sorry, not Q to S, from OS. Okay, means you have to move from O to S. From O to S is basically you have to move from point O to P and then P to S. Okay, from O to P plus P to S. Okay, so this is the value. Ab O means from O to P is basically, look here, O to P with the same direction, the value would be P, plus from P to S is 1 upon 2 PQ. 1 upon 2 PQ. Now you have to replace this PQ because you have to write in the term of small p and small q. So the vector PQ you have to replace with its value, that is Q minus P. Okay. So here, like P plus 1 upon 2 and the value of PQ is Q minus P. Okay, now P plus 1 upon 2Q you have to times minus 1 upon 2P. Okay, after this arrange the same values. ओके इधर p के नीचे कुछ भी नहीं है तो इट मीन्स 1 है, तो आपके पास यहाँ पे एलसीएम 2 आ गया, तो ये 2 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो ये भी 2 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा, सो 2p माइनस 1p इज इक्वल्स टू 1 अपॉन 2q। तो अब इसको सॉल्व करेंगे तो आपके पास क्या आ जाएगा, OS 2p माइनस 1p अपॉन 2 माइनस 1 अपॉन 2q। सॉल्व किया तो यू विल गेट जस्ट p अपॉन 2 माइनस 1 अपॉन 2। इन इधर जो है आप 1 अपॉन 2 कॉमन आ जाएगा। ओके सो 1 अपॉन 2, सॉरी ये पॉजिटिव साइन है इधर, 1 upon 2 common, so your answer is P plus Q is the answer. So the OS is 1 upon 2 P plus Q, so it will give you just 2 marks. Okay, now SR, for SR it means you have to move from S to Q, from S to Q, okay, and then Q to R plus Q to R. S to Q is basically 1 upon 2 PQ plus, but from R to Q is minus 1 upon 3Q because you are moving against the direction, minus 1 upon 3Q. Okay, now in this you know the value of PQ that we already figured out in part number 1 is Q minus P, so 1 upon 2 Q minus P. Okay, so plus minus minus 1 upon 3Q. Now just multiply 1 upon 2 with Q and minus 1P minus P. So 1 upon 2 multiplied by Q and minus 1 upon 2 multiplied by P, it will give you this, and minus 1 upon 3Q. Okay, now replace no arrange the things जो कि आपके पास Q की वैल्यू Q के साथ लिखे यूं और P की वैल्यू आपके पास 1 upon 2 एज इट इज आ जाएगी इधर। इनका जब अपना एलसीएम ले 2 and 3 का, so it will give you 6, और आपके पास ये 3 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो ये भी 3 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा, ये 2 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो ये भी 2 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा, तो 1 cube times 3, so it will give you 3q, minus 1 cube times 2, it will give you 2q. Okay, minus 1 upon माइनस 1/2p। इनको सॉल्व किया, you will get q/6 because 3 minus 2 is 1 minus 1/2p. So look, the answer of S2R is basically 1q/6 minus 1/2p. So the answer is 1q/6 minus 1/2p. So this is the answer for SR. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any question related to the vectors, and if you have any question from the past paper that you are not able to solve it, okay, if you have any confusion, any sort of question related to the vectors from the past paper, you can just uh, let me know कि आपके पास जो भी क्वेश्चन है वो जैसे आप कमेंट सेक्शन में जो है वो उसको मेंशन करें. आई विल ट्राई टू सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चन एज वेल. ओके, सो टेक केयर. और अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो इसको लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा एंड इसको सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा. ओके, अल्लाह हाफिज़, बाय बाय.